Are you in search of a pharmacy for all your medical needs? Check out my guy Jason Hu's Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding, located at 337 US 46 Rockaway, New Jersey, zip code 07866, serving all of New York and New Jersey. They specialize in compounding sildenafil for male erectile dysfunction, as well as semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. They come to you with an amazing delivery service, so don't worry about having to come in person. Once again, check out Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding in Rockaway, New Jersey by my guy Jason Hu was the first guy to buy my merch. You can call them at 973-559-7979. That's 973-559-7979. Proud partner of the DJ Sports Show on WRCR 1700 AM and WRCR.com.
Hi, I'm Maria Trivelpiece in the Patriot League studio.
Coach McGarity, for the second year in a row, you are a Patriot League champion. What is it like knowing that trophy is staying in Worcester?
Oh man, I'm just so proud of this team.
You have your parents and your loved ones here with you today. How special is it that you get to celebrate this moment with them?
Yeah, celebrate a long year.
Despite trailing Team Marino, Brooke Reese felt really good about the way that her team played in that first half. She said, "We're beating them in ground balls and draw controls."
How about a kiss? Can I have them? Pitching was a big question mark coming in to this season. Looked pretty good in games 1 and 2 against a very good Houston Astros.
You have a game, what's it called? You have a game later for softball, right? College softball?
Yeah. No, pro softball.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so there's pro softball going on right now, in New York actually. So there's this is their first year. They're called the New York Rise, and it's like all part of like the Association for Fast Pitch Professionals. So it's like a 4-team pro league. It's really cool. So trying to grow the game a little bit, but yeah. So I have that, and then obviously like I'm doing this freelance. So my full-time job, I've just been like on call after call. I was actually on a call before this, so just
really?
kind of bopping. Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on, but it's good. It's better to be busy than bored. So
No, that's true.
for sure, right?
So Maria, it's great to have you on here on the DJ Sports Show. Join the Pantheon. It's good to have you on. I think I've been connected with you on LinkedIn probably even longer than I was with Gigi. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when we connected. That's how I met Gigi, by the way, LinkedIn. And it was like November, October we connected around that time. And then I hit her up like, "Hey Gigi, I'd love to get you on the show one day." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come on." And then I got her number. I got the info I needed, came up with the questions, and the rest is history. Like, we're good friends now. She's really busy, as you can tell. But you too. And then I'm about to have another Fordham's Finest. You don't know, I'm supposed to have her on in August sometime. So in person. Yeah.
Both and like 2 great ones. Like really crushing it in the field, and it's just really cool to see the Rams are representing, especially in the sports media world.
Oh yeah, you guys are doing your thing, man. You guys really are. But let's get right into it. So first question I like to ask my guests, people kind of know your background. You were born and raised in Hazelton Township, Pennsylvania. Describe what it was like growing up there, and how would you describe the area to those who've never been there, such as myself? I've never been there, never been to PA, not outside probably Hershey Park. So.
Yeah, we're a little bit at a different spot than Hershey Park, but no, it was cool because it was like a really I would say like family friendly area. So like kind of grew up like outside all the time, just playing everything. And so I think that's kind of part of the reason why I am involved in what I'm involved in now, because we were just always doing different things outside. My entire family, like my mom's like one of 5 kids. All of my cousins and everyone lived there. So it was just a really cool, like growing up experience, just getting to be around my family all the time. And we were all like super close in age. So it was just like, you were never bored for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm from New York. I lived in New York my whole life. So yeah, I've never been to PA. Only for Hershey Park.
A little different than New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different.
Is it true people slash their tires there? Because one of my friends I used to work with last year, coworker of mine, name is Gil. He moved to PA last year. He works at an art gallery. And they said he got his tire slashed like the first week there. I'm like, damn. I'm like, is that true?
I mean, I've never had my tires slashed, knock on wood, so I don't know. Maybe it was just an unfortunate experience.
Yeah, that's true. So next question is, when did your love for sports begin?
Oh yeah. So my dad tells a story that he put a bat in my hands when I was like 1 year old. My dad was like a longtime men's fast pitch player, and then also coached in college and like a lot of different levels. Um, and yeah, so he said he gave me a wiffle ball bat, and apparently like we were playing inside, and I just like wailed one off my mom's hand and like
Oh,
jammed
wow.
her finger, and he was so hype about it. So I guess like that maybe started it. I grew up like watching Yankee games with my dad. And so yeah, it was just like I've never kind of experienced my life without it. And I give a lot of that credit to my dad and then my mom for just like supporting it. So I think one really cool thing about my parents was they threw me in a lot of different things. So I did like everything from like field hockey, soccer, basketball. I did ballet. I swam. I never cheered, but I did like just so many different things. And they kind of just let me pick then. And I eventually ended up playing softball in college. But yeah, there was never a time that I just like wasn't around sports.
Wow, that's amazing. Dang, you're a multi-sport athlete. Ballet too, so you're like nimble on your feet.
That
No?
was in my younger years. Yeah, I
Younger
think I like
years?
once I had
Okay.
to play. Yeah, once I think I did it for like 11 years, and then once I started playing travel softball, like the recitals and competition stuff was like when I would have been like doing travel softball. So I had to pick one, and I stuck with the ball and bat sport. So.
That's funny. Yeah, I did basketball growing up and did track. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, and
Mm,
then when I
yeah,
was young,
it's
young, like
fun.
five, six, seven, I did karate.
Right?
I only got up.
Ooh,
I don't
see,
remember what color belt I got up to, but it was like, yeah,
yeah,
I was like
I
beginner,
always look
and then my
at
mom took us out early. I was like, damn it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like Jaden
No,
Smith for a
that's
little
cool
bit.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. For sure, for sure. No, I think like I feel like any of the martial arts are just like so beneficial, not only like as kids, but like as adults and young adults as well, just for like both like physical and mental strength and even just like self-protection. Unfortunately, that needs to be a thing, but yeah, I don't know. I have so much reverence for people who participate in the martial arts.
That's awesome. So basically, you answered my next question. Who was the first person to get you into softball and sports in general? Seems like it was your dad.
Yeah, yeah, it was my
Yeah,
dad. He's he's a big sports guy, so kind of like that story I just told, and
yeah.
he just carted us everywhere. He coached us. Literally came to almost every game that he could when I was in college, and so yeah, he's the sports guy. But my mom like never played a sport in her life. It's wild. And she has become such a sports fan. It's awesome, and she's like really really smart. So she could pick up on things so quickly. Like she was breaking down like a play the other day, just kind of like talking to herself. I was like, oh my gosh, mom, wow. Like I didn't realize you like understood the game at that intricate level. And I think that's something that's really cool. And she's the ultimate sports mom. So I'm grateful for her too.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We love to hear that here on DJ Sports Show. Love to hear that. Next question is who have been the biggest influences slash inspirations throughout your career? I see your dad, Vince, coached you softball at the Hazelton area. He also coached you in high school, I saw when I did the research.
Yeah,
I think your first 2 years or
yeah,
3 years, something like that. And your mom, Mary Ann, who both pushed
yeah.
you to be your best. If you could name anybody else besides your parents, who have been the biggest inspirations and influences throughout your career, media and athletic career?
Ooh, so yeah, my parents are always like the first ones that come to mind.
Yep.
Um, I have a mentor from Syracuse named Olivia Stomsky, and she kind of has really pushed like me, I guess, not only just like in my media career, but like also in life. She's helped me so much and has just done so many things for me. And I tell her this all the time, but I'm forever grateful for her because she's just done so much for me. Inspiration wise, if I think of like athletes and different things like that, ooh, that's like a good question.
Makes you think.
Yeah, because I feel like
You
my
never been asked this
parents were
question
about.
before?
Well, I just always say my parents. So
Yeah,
like you kind of,
yeah.
yeah, my parents. I don't know. I looked up to like a lot of athletes when I was younger. And I'm literally blanking on her name, but there was a woman who played like in the NHL. She was a goalie. And I think it was just like a very short stint. But like I actually like my first love was actually hockey because I grew up going to like the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins games, which is like the AHL affiliate of Pittsburgh. Um, and I just wanted to play hockey so bad. But it's like super expensive and it was like a sport my dad wasn't that familiar with. So that's like the one thing that like I just was never able to play, but I always wanted to. So I just had this obsession with like hockey and hockey players. And like I just thought it was so cool that there was this woman who played in the NHL that I did like I said, a whole book report on it because there's a really like her autobiography. So I feel like that kind of inspiration are people that I looked up to. Like I really just wanted to see like women like beating the guys. Like I'd play with the boys all the time when I was younger. Like
Yep.
I loved that. Like I just like wanted to beat them. And so I feel like the women who were kind of wanted to do the same thing in their sports, were the people that I looked up to.
Love that. Yeah, my inspirations growing up, of course, mom. I looked up to Kobe Bryant, Will Smith, well, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I looked up to a lot of people. A lot of
I do love Will Smith.
yes,
Will
he's
Smith is
killing it right
I have the whole Yeah, I have the whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air box set on DVD. Like I love Will Smith. Like yeah, he has like
Wow.
some really good like motivational podcasts too. Yeah, I you're jogging my memory. Do love Will Smith though. Big fan.
I loved him since I was a little kid. He's always been an inspiration since Fresh Prince, Men in Black, the suit. Oh, you know that song, The Men in Black, where he does the dance music? Oh, it's so fire. I love that song.
Yes, oh my gosh. Like he's just like so multifaceted in terms of like acting. Like he could sing, he can dance, like he could literally like do it all.
Everything. Yeah. He's one of the most talented humans to ever roam this earth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So you're a multi-sport athlete. You've done many sports, like you said before. Describe how being a multi-sport athlete helps you become a better athlete. Because you're not the first person I've interviewed, said doing multiple sports, and these people are doing amazing things. So, yeah, tell the audience why being a multi-sport athlete makes you a better athlete.
Well, I just think that like we're at a time where so many kids feel like they need to specialize just because it's getting so much more competitive, right? Like you have all these travel circuits in every sport and you want to go to college and you want to play. So you're playing that one singular one. And I just think that like play as many sports as long as you can. It's just going to help you physically, like create more like athleticism in you. It's going to like prevent some of those injuries of repetitive muscle injury. And so I just think like for those benefits for sure. And then I also just think like different sports have different mentalities, right? Of like softball's like it's a team sport, but there's like so much individualized aspects of it. Just like you're in the box by yourself, like you're in your position by yourself. And so just kind of trying to understand how to work together as a team. And then when you play like a sport like basketball or like volleyball, there's a lot more like communication, like fast paced and quick. So I think it just opens up a variety of different things, both like mentally and physically.
Definitely, definitely. So, were there any clubs you played for outside of school growing up in sports for softball, such as AAU? If so, what teams and who were the coaches that taught you valuable life lessons? I saw when I was looking up your college profile. I think it was some Star Strikers, something like I forgot the name of it exactly. That you played for softball growing up.
Yeah, no, I played for Stripes and Strikes.
Stripes and Strike.
That's actually like my dad's travel organization for softball. So I played the majority of my travel ball with them. There was like one year I played with Chaos out of Pennsylvania just because I was a year older than everybody else. But yeah, like I grew up playing for my dad and like he'll forever be my coach and like the person that's taught me so much, like both on and off the field. And like to this day, like when I'm calling games, like he always has his phone by him, like in case like some like crazy thing happens on the field where it's like a rule interpretation. He also like umpired in the minor leagues and everything and umpired college softball. So he's like really in tune to like rules and everything. And so yeah, I
Yep.
mean he's my coach, will always be my coach. It's always inspired me at all levels.
Nah, that's amazing. Dang, your dad's really a legend. He should be in that.
Something like
Yeah,
that,
he's a
right?
legend, man. He's a legend.
He's done a little bit of everything for sure. Yeah, I he's pretty cool. So
Shout out to Mr. Trivelpiece, man. Shout out to him. So you attended Valley Middle School. What do you remember about your time there as an athlete playing softball and as a student? How did it help prepare you for high school?
yeah, that's a long time ago.
She's
I
like,
played
oh,
like
get it up
really-
there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like it's weird because I remember more basketball from middle school, honestly. Like I think I actually liked basketball a little bit better in middle school
Mm.
just because like I really enjoyed the sport. I just wasn't good at it. So that's why I ultimately chose softball. But yeah, no, I just think like every stage of my journey kind of helped me get to like where I am today. And so it was just another step in the process.
Mm. Definitely. You attended Hazelton High School in the Hazelton area, playing for the Hazelton Cougars under your father, Vincent. You guys went 3-3 that season, good for third in the Wyoming Valley League. Describe your initial season in high school and what you learned from that season as an athlete and the early high school experience. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
again,
laughing.
like no, I'm just laughing because I don't remember a lot about high school softball to be honest with you. Because like it's weird, like it's intriguing because so much of like the softball that you play is travel ball. Like I know a lot of my friends from California didn't even play their high school team, so like play for their high school teams just because of like the circuit. So like high school is really cool because like you're playing for your hometown. And I had like the greatest group of girls that I played with. We still talk like to this day, and I think that's more of what I remember. I don't really remember like the winning or the losing as much. I just remember like some of like the crazy stuff that we did. Like we were just really unhinged, I would say. And like in the best like most innocent high school way possible. Like to the point like where we get together like once a year or so just to like talk about it, and we just did like really fun things both like on and off the field. And that's what I remember like from my entire high school career.
That's funny because your high school career was decorated.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, no,
hilarious.
I mean, I did really
Yeah.
well. Like, no, I really remember that. Like, I remember like the first time. I think like one thing I do remember is when I was named All State for the first time. And that was like just really, really cool. Because they like announced All State in the summer, and I was actually at a travel ball tournament in Colorado when it came out, and I just remember like so many people reaching out to me, which I just thought was really cool. Like people that I like kind of knew like not even like a ton, but like just like the really kind messages and the things that they said, and like it was just like one of my best years, I would say. And so just like it was just really cool just to see people like being so kind and being recognized for that. So something I'm really grateful for that sophomore year honor.
Oh, we're going to get into your sophomore year because, oh, but before we get into that, do you remember any workouts you were doing to prepare for that sophomore year, which will end up being a historic year for you?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So I like didn't really know how to work out until college, to be honest. Like I've always loved working out. I just like, but all I knew was like how to do like reps for softball, right? So I'd like constantly be hitting, like I'd constantly be taking grounders, all that stuff. Workout wise, I like didn't really get it. So like I would just run a ton. Like I loved running, and I would do like the insanity videos, which sounds like still really good workouts, but just not really softball specific. And I have to give credit to honestly when I was going to my freshman year of college, like I had a workout packet, and I just did it like I'd lifted a little bit before, but I didn't really know how. And my roommate's uncle actually like trained all of these athletes. And she lived in the area near me, and she's like, "Do you want to come like do our summer packets together?" Like we were going into school. And like he's kind of the one that changed everything for me. So he just really like taught me how to lift, taught me how to like run and how to train for my sport. And I think like I saw a huge difference then when I went to college because I was like stronger and faster, and like I carry that with me now. Like I love working out, like I teach fitness classes.
Oh no, have
So
you
I
seen the
think that
TikToks? Have you seen the TikTok?
yeah,
Yeah, you be running,
yeah,
like, you know,
no,
you can run a
yeah,
marathon,
I love
running
I
miles, like you're
yeah,
running like 5 miles. I'm
yeah,
like, what?
exactly.
I'm like, I'm fit myself,
I
but
love
like, geez.
Yeah, no, like I love fitness, and I always have like even like I said when I was younger, like I was like little, like maybe in sixth grade, and I would like run laps around my house because I wasn't even like allowed to like go for a run yet by myself.
Mm,
Um, so I've always loved fitness and working out, but I just didn't know how to work out for my sport.
yep.
And so I think like learning that and like learning about the body, and I'm still learning. It's just like I love fitness. Like I love like figuring out different ways to train and like trying different things. Like um yeah, I just think that like that was a huge turning point for me was going into that freshman year of college.
Oh no, I'm in high school. High school, you definitely ran.
No, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean I ran a lot in high
for
school.
working out. Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I was talking more about the working out aspect of it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, that's funny. Now you take good care of yourself. You definitely do. And same thing with me. Ever since I was young, always been outside exercise. I was the type to be outside exercising, playing basketball, whatever, football, skateboarding,
yeah.
instead of on social media inside playing video games. It just wasn't really
Yeah,
me.
I can't sit like I can't like sit to like play a video game. Like I wish I could. Like I love
Mm,
reading. I will read a ton.
yeah.
But I just like can't sit. Like even like now, like you see me like moving my chair. Like when I was like, all right, I have to like sit down for an hour. Like before this, I walked some laps in between like my last call and this call because I just like I can't sit. I can't sit still. So I just think like movement is like super important because it's like whether you're stressed, whether you're like upset, whether you're like angry, sad, like if you just move, I swear you feel like at least a little better. It doesn't solve all your problems, but it definitely helps. So
No, definitely. Yeah. I used to do workouts in the house when I was like, I started doing that around like 12. Yeah, I used to play outside all
Yeah.
the time, and once I got to 12, 13, I started doing it in the house. Some people are like, DJ,
In the
how do you
house,
have the motivation to do that? When I'm in the house, I just want to relax and I'm lazy. I'm like, I don't know, I'm
yeah.
just built
You're like,
different,
nah,
man.
I'm built
I'm just
different.
different. Like Nike, like right here, Nike, just do it. Just do it.
There you go. There
Hey,
you
hey, you know I came
go.
ready. Just
You're
gotta do
like,
it.
I got this. I got this. Let me just take a moment.
Yeah. Did you see the recent Nike ad, by the way? It was fire.
No, I haven't. I have to go. I'll have to check it
For the
out.
Olympics, oh, you
I
got to.
certainly
Oh, it
often
gives you
is like
chills.
on social and all
Yeah.
right, all right. I mean, I feel like a lot of them do, so
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at that. Yeah, for sure.
So that next season, I call you the super sophomore softballer because when I was looking at the record and then your accomplishments that year, wow, in high school, you led your team to a 22 record. You guys won the first 10 games in the process, damn near like the 2016 Warriors. Like, you guys were not losing. Ultimately, finishing with the second best in the Wyoming Valley 1 Conference, 14-1 record in the conference, being named the Wyoming Valley Conference MVP your sophomore year. That is crazy. How much do you dedicate that to your insatiable work ethic, and what do you remember most of that incredible season?
The ball looked like a beach ball. I don't know. I just
Hitting
think like
everything, hitting
I
everything.
no, I just like I don't know. I think like I just like really I don't know, softball for me is like to this day still like the thing that like probably filled me the most. And so I just like really like to like work and like practice. It's just something that I really, really cared about. I was like I still like even in college and even in years like when I didn't hit as well, like I just like really like being in the cages, I like trying to perfect my swing, I like taking reps, I just like constantly like trying to get better. I like to keep moving, and so I think it was probably like a mixture of that and just like confidence. I don't know, like I just felt really confident. Like when you go from playing travel ball and you're playing like some of the best pitchers in the country, and then you go to high school where like they're not as good, like it just feels easier.
Yep.
So I feel like a lot of the preparation comes from like playing a lot of that travel ball as well. And yeah, just like it worked out well, and like it was definitely my best like hitting year in high school for sure. But yeah, like I just think that like I took a lot of reps. I was around like really great people. And yeah, the ball just looked like a beach ball. The
You're
best
like, this is easy.
I
What?
hit.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. I was just easier other years, but for some reason it was just clicking then. So doesn't
man.
always happen, but in that instance it did. So
No, that was your 2016 Curry year. Just everything
yeah,
going
right. Exactly. Exactly. Everybody's had one of those years.
in.
But
So you guys lost to Daniel Boone that year. I saw 4-1 in the PIAA
yeah.
playoff bracket. How upset were you coming off a historic year individually and collectively as a unit, not finishing with a championship?
Yeah, no, it was like it kind of sucked because we beat like honestly who I thought was the better team, Williamsport, in the game to get to Daniel Boone. Williamsport had two sisters who are phenomenal, went on to play at St. Francis. One of in the pitcher that we ended her career, but she was Gatorade Player of the Year that year. And she's so, so good and still to this day, one of the best all-around players I've ever played against. So yeah, it was just really frustrating. Daniel Boone had a good left-handed pitcher as well with a good rise ball, who beat us again my senior year. We were the same age. And yeah, we just for some reason like we couldn't hit her and just ended up like that. And it stinks. Like you have to say goodbye to the seniors, and then when they beat us our senior year too, it was just I don't know. It's like an end of an era, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's sports. So you learn how to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. Bittersweet. So despite not finishing with a title, you were named an all-state selection. You're named a Citizen Voice All-Star, Times Leader All-Star, and NFCA Academic All-American on top of being the WVP, conference MVP. When you hear that list of laundry accomplishments as someone who was just ending their sophomore year of high school, how did that make you feel, and how did that keep pushing you to want to keep striving for more?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually funny you asked that because I think like my junior year, I ended up like not doing as well because I put a lot of pressure on myself because of that list.
Mm,
I remember like actually being in tears after a game my junior year because I just was like, oh my goodness, like I'm not doing what I did last year. So I think like it's one thing that you just don't realize happens when you're really successful like super early, and that's why I give like a lot of these like young players so much credit, or even just like the Caitlin Clarks of the world or like the Angel Reese's so much credit because they are continuously asked to perform like at this high level, and it's like not easy to perform at that level, but it's even harder when everybody just expects you to be perfect all the time, and we're human beings. And so that isn't always feasible. And so I think like I was just really proud, and I'd be lying if I said at the end of my sophomore year I was just like I was on cloud nine like that. It was just so cool. Like it was very surreal. Like so much so that like I couldn't actually like believe it was happening, and like I don't know, it was just really, really cool, but it did like kind of create some pressure that I had to kind of learn and grow from that whole junior year. And then senior year I kind of like picked back up, but I think it taught me like some really valuable lessons that I was able to like take with me to college, because college was really hard for me, especially my first 2 years.
Yeah, you got to give you some grace.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've gotten better at. I feel like over the last like 2 or so years, I'm very
It's
hard on myself.
hard,
I'm my
right?
hardest critic. So
Yeah, we all are. We are always picking like ourselves apart. I was texting my friend yesterday, and he was watching the game that I was calling, and I was like, "Dang, like I am like struggling for these through these first couple innings." He's like, "You're your hardest critic." He's like, "You just have to have fun." And I'm like, you're right." But like, yeah, like you're saying, you pick yourself apart. We all do, right?
yeah, definitely. Because I'm just like sometimes I'm like, man, I release something. I'm like, it was good, but I feel like I could have done this better, or this article was great,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what if I worded that differently, or a podcast. I'm like, I gotta start overthinking. No, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah, and I think like also too, it's like finding that balance, right? Like it's good that you want to like be better, right? But like at what point? Because you need to figure out what that balance is. It's you could say, all right, like I think this was really good. Here's how I can improve, but still give yourself credit where things were good, right? So it's like finding that balance, and a lot easier said than done. But yeah, for sure, it's something that we're all trying to figure out.
Oh yeah. So now your junior year in 2013-14, you and your team take it up a notch a little further, 23 and overall, finishing with the best record in the conference, 13-2. Your accolades: WVU All-League First Team, you were All-State again, Citizens Voice All-Star again, and named NFCA Academic All-American again. How did it feel to continue your team's collective dominance in the conference and state as well as yours individually? I know you might not have won the conference MVP, but hey, you're still pretty good. All-State?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I like well, one of my teammates who is phenomenal, I believe, won the conference MVP that year. I swear she got a hit every time up. But I think that just spoke a lot to our team. Like I talked about, honestly, like those records, I kind of don't remember. Like I remember some of the games that we lost, and I'm like, oh, like why did we lose that? But like what I remember, like the people and how like much fun we had. That junior year was like a really tough one for all of us, and the fact that we were like still successful was really cool. And just to see like some of my other teammates just kind of step up and help me, because I told you like I didn't do as well as I wanted to that year, and so just to have other people kind of pick me up and say, no, look, we're still going to win some games. Here's how we're going to do it. Was really cool.
Mm-hmm. So you guys had another incredible season, but that season you lost to Lower Dolphin 2-0 in the playoffs. Was it tough to see your team losing back-to-back years and not capturing the title after two consecutive dominant seasons? Because you guys were
I
once
mean, I
best in the
think
conference, and then it's like, damn, we lose. Like, what's all this? Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean like the state level is just tricky, you know. Yeah, it would like we just didn't perform in those games. I don't know what it was. Like I said, that was kind of a tough season, just with some changes and everything. So yeah, it just stinks. But I
Yeah.
mean, again, just like the people were really, really good, and it was fun being around them. So
Yeah. So you're now entering your senior season, 2014-15. What was your mindset and your teams as you embarked on your last dance at the high school level?
yeah, I mean, we really wanted to win the state, right? We obviously again lost to Daniel Boone, and that
Yeah.
felt really crappy. I remember being like so upset and just like crying in the parking lot. Um, I like played with my sister for the last time that year, so like that was like really crappy too, just to kind of like end it. And like I remember there was a play where I tried to score um from third, and like looking back, like I don't know why I like went on it. Like I was being a little bit over aggressive, and like I don't know, I think like I actually haven't thought about that in a while, but um I think that yeah, it was just like kind of crappy, and it like stunk losing. But it was cool to kind of end my call or end my high school career with some of my favorite people around me. And again, like I'm gonna keep saying it because it's so true, but it was great, like being around those people just one last time.
Mm-hmm. Your senior year, the reign of dominance continues. You're under a new head coach, Adrian Rebrachak. I hope I said it right. With a 19-4 record.
I say her last name, to be honest. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was
It's been a while.
Rebrachak. Yeah, with a 19-4 record and best record in the conference once again, 13-2. You guys come out gun blazing, winning your first 5 games, demoralizing your teams in blowouts. You guys, I looked at the scores. I was like, yeah, this ain't even close right now. How confident that year did you feel at that time that this was the year you were going to win the title?
Yeah, I thought we were. Like, I thought, like, if any year we were going to, it was going to be that one. We had, like, a very senior-laden team. If I can remember correctly, I think our whole outfield was seniors. Me and my shortstop were seniors. Shortstop was, like, one of my best friends in high school. And then my catcher and my first baseman were sophomores, and we had another girl at third who was a junior who was one of the best athletes, like all around athletes I ever played with. And like I think on that team there was like 7 of us who ended up going to Division I schools. So yeah, I was really confident, but it didn't happen. So
It's like it didn't happen, but
no,
yeah,
we lost to Daniel Boone again.
yeah,
But yeah, so
yeah. I know that had to hurt. I know that had to hurt.
yeah, no, definitely did not feel good. So we're crying in the parking lot. Yeah, that's that game where I tried to score from third that I don't know what it's like. So
Oh, it's okay. Hey, at the end of the day, it's just a game. We forget that. We know sports we're all passionate about. At the end of the day, it's just a game. It's just a game. Yeah.
I hate that phrase. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's I just think like it like I think it could be like phrased differently, right? Like cuz I don't think it's just a game because I think it's more than a game in terms of like sport has given me so much in my life and
Yep.
it has just created so much resiliency for me. So like okay, we lost. Let me rephrase it. It's not the end of the world that we lost the game, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
not just a game because it's so much more than that. It's like creating relationships, it's teaching life lessons. Like even
Definitely.
though that was a game that we lost, it was painful and it like taught me some really important things, right? So that's more of the phrase of like, yeah, I don't know. It's like it's kind of like you don't want to like beat people up because you lost the game, but like I think it's really important to have things that you care about. And I think it's so easy, like people are really quick to like just dismiss sports, right? Like, oh, like because there's like jock stereotypes and there's this and there's that. But like if people actually looked at all the benefits of sports and like what it can do for people, even if you don't go and become like a Division I college athlete, if like you get kids involved in sports young, if you keep them active, like it's so good for their bodies, their minds, life lessons, like just determining conflict. Like, you know, how many wiffle ball games have you played in the backyard where one kid's like, that's a strike, and the other kid's like, no, that's a ball,
Yep.
and you got to figure it out. And I just feel like as grown-ups, we don't do that sometimes. So like I just think that like it's not just a game, it's like a lot more than that, but it's also you don't want to like, you know, again, beat somebody up after all this.
No, I agree with you. Sports really do. They're a metaphor of life, and I love it. It teaches you how to deal with adversity, how to deal with different personalities. Everybody's different. How to tolerate people, because you're not gonna like everybody. You're not gonna like everybody.
You're
But
not
you
gonna
gotta,
like everyone,
yeah,
for sure.
but you gotta know. Just like when you're in the workforce or at school, you gotta learn how to work together, even if you don't like each other. Put your differences aside and betterment of the team. So it's like anywhere else in the world. That's why I think sports. I think anybody should get at least do one sport in your life so you can learn those things, and it's of course good for your physical and mental health. So, yeah.
Yes, for sure, for
Like
sure.
they say, health is wealth, man. Health is wealth. It really is.
Movement is medicine, health is wealth. I like
Yeah.
all those cliches.
So you didn't win a title your senior year, but describe what you took away from your high school experience and what did you learn from your dad coaching you as well as Rabachak?
Yeah, so my dad, my dad taught me everything. My dad's my coach. He's like been my coach my whole life. Like he literally just taught me how to overcome adversity. He taught me all the intricate details, like inside and out of the game. He taught me how to be kind to people. I think that's one of like my favorite things about my dad is like he never yelled, right? And like
Mhm.
I think because of that, like we all wanted to run through a brick wall for him. Like to this day, like I keep referencing when we all get together, right? Like we just talk about the way that like we loved playing behind him. And like just the way that like we would do anything for him and he would do anything for us, right? Like if there was like a bad call or something, like he's defending us, he's arguing for us. And I think that's something that people don't realize. Like, I think like a lot of times you see like coaches on TV and like you're like, oh my goodness, why are they doing that? Like whatever. Like why? I mean, maybe it's a little extreme when people are like picking up bases and throwing them. I'm not recommending that, but I think as an athlete, you want your coach to stand up for you. You are a team, right? And so I just think I've learned so much from him, and I'm just so grateful to be coached by him, not only in high school, but in travel ball and as cliche as it is in life as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Love to hear that. Who were the best players you played with and against in high school?
Oh, I mentioned the girl, her name was Lexi Bauer, from she was Gatorade Player of the Year. And
Wow.
I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, so she was great. She was probably one of the best players I played against in high school. And the best people I played with were like all of my teammates. Like I think every single person, I told you how many of them went Division 1 on that team, and like all of them went on to have fantastic college careers. So I just think that like yeah, that like they were my sisters. They did so well. I'm so proud of all of them. They're all kind of crushing it in their careers right now in a variety of different ways. And so yeah, miss them. Wish we could get back on the field one more time.
Oh, yeah. So let's go through your high school accolades because, man, it's going to take a little while. Okay, so Wyoming Valley Conference MVP as a sophomore in 2013, three-time All-State selection, three-time Citizens Voice All-Star, three-time NFCA Academic All-American, two times leader All-Star in 2013-2015, WVU All-League First Team in 2014, NFCA East Second Team All-Region in 2015. You're the all-time leader in hits in your high school. Oh, and you try to say, oh, I wasn't really that good. You try to tell, I'm like, stop it. She was like, I was all right. I'm like, God.
I have a thing for that though. My youngest sister would have beaten me out, but she was a senior in 2020, so she only had 3 seasons.
Oh, okay. So I got
So she
asterisk.
would have gotten more hits than me.
Okay.
Yeah, if she would
Okay.
have had 4 years. And my youngest sister, my middle sister was 3-time All-State, and my youngest sister was All-State as a freshman, sophomore, and junior, and then was named Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior, but like based on like her numbers up like through that point. So she could have beaten me out in All-State as well, but she just didn't have a season in 2020. So I really cheated the system in all of that.
Hey, it's not your fault
My
for
fault.
being captain. Don't blame yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
I mean, I cheated the system.
y'all full of elite athletes, man. You might have to get your sister on Gatorade Player of the Year. What? That is crazy.
Yeah. My youngest sister is definitely the best athlete in our family. She's also a 1,000-point scorer in basketball.
Oh, we might have to get her on the D-Day Sports Show during the pandemic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
She's legit. My middle sister was fantastic too. Like I'm probably like the least athletic one in my family.
It's like I'm the least athletic.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm
Oh, wow.
100% serious. My sisters are way more athletic than I ever was. So
I love how you give them their flowers. So that's awesome. Let's continue with your accomplishments. You were selected as an Adidas Futures All-Star. When I saw that, I said, man, I gotta. I said, okay. I was like, okay, Maria. For someone who told me they're not that good of an athlete, I was like, okay, whatever you say, whatever you say. USSA World Series runner-up in 2015, and you were a U16 ASA/USA Nationals top 30 finish in 2012. When you hear all that, what does that make you feel? Like, damn, I've done something with my life. Like, I really have accomplished a lot. Shout out to my dad.
it's funny because like I kind of forgot about that stuff. Like I don't know, like I feel like college-wise, like I wasn't as good as I wanted to be, and I think that like I kind of forgot that I was good before that. So I think that like yeah, I don't know. I guess when I hear that, I'm like, oh, I was better than maybe I thought I was. Um, but no, I don't know. I think for me, it's more of like so cliche, but it is the relationships and like what sport has done for me because it's like it unfortunately it all ends, right? Like I don't get to play anymore. Like I'm calling games and that's cool. But like I think more so it just makes me want to like utilize the platform that I've been given to pave the way for the younger generation so they have the opportunities to do all those things that I did, but like maybe even on a grander scale. And I think the game of softball has given me so much, so I want to continue to do that. So like I don't really think like yeah, like I kind of forgot about a lot of those accolades until you said them. But like the memory, like you know what I remember about that? Like when we were the Adidas Futures games were like in Utah, and it was so hot that like we had to play at night. So we would play like 6 p.m. to like 6 a.m. and then we get to like explore the mountains during the day. I mean, we didn't really sleep. It wasn't the best, but like that's what I remember about that. And like I've had so many amazing experiences and I've like traveled across the country and even the world to like either play sports or call sports, and like I'm not naive to know that not everybody has that experience. And so we talk about the importance of sports. Like sports can do that for kids and for people who may not have that opportunity otherwise. And so when I think about that stuff, it just is like, oh crap, yeah, now I know why I'm doing this. Like I need to like keep paving the way so that other people can do this once again.
Oh no, you paved the way, all right. You paved the way, definitely have. So I just want to give you that's what we do on DJ Sports. We give people their flowers too, you know? We do that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it because I kind of forgot that I did all that stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like the idea of softball player I had in my head was like, oh, you know, like I was like okay when I was in college. Like I had like one good year, you know, and that's like what I remember. But like, yeah, before that I was pretty good.
There's a reason you went D1.
Yeah, I
So
guess
it's
so.
yeah. So it's now time to choose a college. What schools were you considering at the time, and who was recruiting you?
Fordham was my only Division One offer, and that's exactly why I picked it. So
Right to the point. Right to the point.
I wanted to play Division One softball, and that it was my only goal in my life was to play Division One softball. And I was recruited a little bit by Colgate, a little bit by Penn. I didn't have the SAT scores to get into Penn. And then Colgate kind of stopped recruiting me. Fordham was the only one who offered me at least a spot, and so I took it because that's where I and it's weird because it ended up like being like the perfect fit for school for me. I didn't even know what majors they had. I was like, it's Division One, and I want to play softball at the Division One level. I'm dead serious.
That's
I've
crazy.
made all my life choices based on softball, and it's worked out. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
That is crazy. So outside of softball, nothing else stood out to you about the university at all? Nothing?
I mean, now, like in retrospect, it is a fantastic university. I wanted to do communications and journalism, and it has one of the best programs in the country for that. So I think God was kind of like moving the needle in that aspect.
Yep.
I just like no, I literally wanted to play Division One softball, and this was my opportunity to do it. And then I just kind of like ended up falling in love with it. Like there's so much great stuff about the campus. Like it's in New York City. Like I'm Catholic. I could go to church every day. I like just really liked the campus. Like it was beautiful. The people were amazing. Like I got to do so much like volunteer work. Like there's so much opportunity to do that. I could be involved in the radio station. I was covering pro sports in college. So like it worked out, but like if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know any of that until I stepped foot in August of 2015. So
Wow. Yeah. I feel you because at New Paltz, I did sports announcing there, women's basketball, women's soccer, men's
yeah,
basketball, and then also was a radio
yeah,
host there. Talked anything basketball related.
yeah,
I still did my brand sports
yeah,
show, all things sports, but on the radio I said basketball's my strongest. Let me just do basketball.
yeah.
I thought about New Paltz
That yes, you
basketball.
gotta rock with it.
Yeah, and that was my first radio experience, and then eventually I'm a local radio host in my hometown, which I
There
started.
you go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
WRCR
Give
Santiago.
yourself the
Yeah.
flowers. Let's go. We love it.
It's going to be a year in October. I did the big announcement in September, and I started officially in October, early October 7th
Yeah,
was the date last year. Yeah, I was
let's
excited and nervous.
go.
The announcement was a big announcement. Like a lot of people saw, they're like, "Yo,
Yeah,
DJ, congrats, all that." Yeah, I first started doing this
yeah,
brand as a podcast only at first, June 2020. It
yeah,
started with just my phone in the car. I remember at 19 years old I was like, wow. I'm like,
yeah.
man,
You gotta start it somehow, right? You
yeah.
just gotta do it.
That kid's come a
So
long way. That brand changed my life, man. I met great people like
let's
you, made new
go.
lifelong friends, met Rich Paul, Adam
There
Silver,
you
like
go.
so many legends. If I didn't create this,
Yeah,
my life is totally different. Totally
exactly. And
different.
sometimes it's taking that first step, right? Even if it's just on the phone in your car, like right,
Oh man.
the key is starting. Like sometimes we're just like waiting for the right time, and there's no right time to start anything. You just do it. Like you just got to do it.
Yeah, I was in blazing heat and freezing cold. I remember those days. Oh my God.
Mm.
I'm like, yo, how did I do that? So
You're
now you're in
like, I
college.
don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was shocked when you told me you don't have a podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I like did a little bit of one during COVID just because I was trying to get reps and like find a job. But yeah, no, I just it's like
Yeah.
time consuming if I
No,
want to
you're
do it
busy
right,
now.
you
You're
know?
too busy now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like on the road a lot. And I don't have like I need to edit it and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Nah, you're good, man. So you choose to play for head coach Bridget Orchard. That's her name.
Orchard.
Orchard.
Yeah.
Yes. How much did she help you grow as a player and person on and off the field?
Yeah, it's funny because like I work with her so much now. And she's like just awesome. And she's actually part of the reason that I get to broadcast, right? And when I when I had her as a coach, she pushed me to levels that like I didn't even know were possible. Like she just when you talk about somebody who knows how to win, that's Bridget Orchard, right? Everywhere she goes, she wins. She was so successful at Fordham. Now she's at Villanova. She wins all the time. And like she just has this like attitude of like I'm going to win no matter what and like y'all need to get on board with it, right? And like I think that is something that like I didn't have that like little extra edge until I played for her. And so I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful for like her help in terms of like my broadcasting career. My first ever analyst experience opportunity was calling the Big East tournament in 2021, and they asked her, they're like, we know that Maria played for you. Like, are you good with her calling the games slash like do you think she'd be a good fit? And she was like, absolutely. And so that kind of kickstarted a lot for me. And I owe that all to her. So I'm very, very grateful to her for that.
Shout out to Bridget Orchard. Amazing. Villanova now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. She's a Villanova alum and she's just breaking all the records with that program. So
Shout out to her, legend. Freshman year college, you guys 39-21, 18-2 in the conference. Made your debut against Rutgers that year. Finished the season with splits of .294, .400, .353. Can you recollect on how you were feeling for your college debut and freshman season as a whole?
yeah, I was like player 19 of 19 on the depth chart. Um,
You know what's
no,
funny?
I'm not even kidding.
It was funny. Gigi said I was a walk-on. I was watching from the bench. That's why that made me want to pursue a broadcasting media career because I was taking notes on the bench.
Yeah, no, I was like player 19 of 19 and like I don't know, I just like knew that I wanted to be on the field. And so I was just like I was a walk-on as well basically. Like I had a roster spot guaranteed, but I wasn't on scholarship. And so I was just like I think I can play here. I really think I can do it, but like the women that I played with, especially my first 2 years, were like all conference selections, like some of the greatest softball players I'd ever been around. And so um yeah, I just like any chance I got, I'd get in there like pinch run. I was like the queen of the runner my freshman year. So yeah, just like learning from that, learning from the women in front of me, and like I know it was really cool. Like I remember I got my first start, I think, against Iowa State. I want to say. I know we were playing at Mercer, and I got my first hit. It was a bunt single. But I just remember like I don't know, like I was nervous, but like I felt like I could do it. And so like in every little opportunity I got that year, I just tried to make the most of it.
Yeah, you definitely did. So you guys went on to win the Atlantic 10 title. Winning will be very common in your college career. Just to give you a little heads up. Very common. That year, defeating Dayton, Massachusetts, and St. Joseph's. But then you lost to an NCAA regional, Eugene regional, to number 8 ranked Oregon in a shutout 0-8, and Long Beach State 1-9. Describe both the feelings of winning your conference title, your first in your college career, but also losing in the regionals and basically getting shut out almost 2 consecutive games. So you had like a whirlwind roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, well, I feel like when you come into Fordham, like you just know like what you do is win conference championships. And so like that was the standard and you never wanted to be the
Yep.
class that came in that lost it. So it was just really cool. We had a pitcher who was a fifth year named Rachel Gillen, and she threw like almost every inning of that 8-10 tournament, and it was fantastic. And she's still like one of my good friends, and I'm just like forever in awe of her. Like she's one of the best softball players I've ever played with. And so that was really cool to win the first A10 title. And yeah, regionals, like we got a bad draw.
Yeah.
Oregon was way better than us, and yeah, we just lost.
Yeah. Yeah. Some teams are you're just like, oh, okay, what are we going to do against this team? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
especially
they were like I think they were number 2 in the country when we got selected to go out there. So
that's hard to overcome.
we also didn't play that well, but Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sophomore season, 46-17 overall, 18-5 in the conference, winning every game of the NC State tournament that year, as well as repeating as the conference champions. You had 13 hits, 15 scored runs, 4 stolen bases, and 8 walks. How did it feel to have a bigger role sophomore year and be able to help your team in winning?
yeah, it was cool because like I didn't really play, like I said, I didn't play that much my freshman year, and then like into my sophomore year, I started in the A10 championship game. So it was cool because I felt like I was more a part of it. Um, and it was also cool because we like got to beat UMass in the championship game, and they were like our rival in college. So it's always fun when you get to beat them. And yeah, it was just like a more interesting experience because I was like in the games a lot more. Like even when I wasn't hitting, I was playing defense, and so it was just fun to be like a part of it and just kind of still continue to get my feet wet.
Mhm. You lose in the Salt Lake Regional that year to Utah. You beat Mississippi State and you lose to BYU. Despite the loss in the regionals, how confident in the leap you saw from your team from freshman to sophomore year as you embarked on your upperclassmen years? Because you guys definitely took another jump from your freshman year to sophomore.
Yeah. My sophomore year team, and I say this all the time, was the most talented team I've ever been on. Our entire infield had been first team all conference at some point in their career. Our center fielder is like in all the record books at Fordham. She was a 4-year all conference selection, like just so good. And so it was really fun to be a part of that team. Like when I got to be in the lineup with those women, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then we brought in a freshman pitcher that year, and she actually got the win in that game in regional. So I was pretty excited about like what the future looked like.
Mhm. Junior year, 33-23 overall, 18-4 in the conference. But it wasn't your typical start for you guys. I saw you guys lost your first 8 games that year. What do you think was the reason for the slow start to the season? She was like, yeah.
Yeah, well, we lost all those players, right? So we
Yeah.
lost all of those all conference players I just told you about. And one of my best friends who like is still in the record books at Fordham and only played 2 seasons there, transferred to like a bigger school. She was so good. So we lost 5, 6, 7 starters. And so we were trying to figure it out, right? Like we didn't know who was going to play where. And like the other thing is too, like the way that Bridget used to schedule games is we'd open up with like all the Power Five schools. So like those losses, you could go look at them. It was like UCLA,
Yeah, it was top
Utah,
teams. It wasn't like, yeah.
yeah, so like, and that's just how she like. Now, sophomore year on the flip side, we had the same schedule, right? Like we beat Baylor, we beat Northwestern, we beat like NC State. Like we were beating those teams, but we just had a really like a much younger team, and the upperclassmen that had been there like hadn't really played that much. So I think that was like the beginning of the year we were just trying to figure it out.
So despite the slow start, you guys will get your act together. You still win the Atlantic 10 Conference. 3-peating. That is crazy. Defeating number 6 George Washington in an 8-0 shutout. You beat the best ranked Massachusetts 4-1 and 6-4 in back-to-back games. Was this title ever more sweeter, knowing the adversity you guys dealt with to start the season off 0-8 and to eventually defeat the best ranked team in the country to win the conference title? I know this one had to feel probably the sweetest of them all. This, yeah, especially the start you guys had.
We got swept by UMass in the regular season. And then I remember, yeah, and we hosted the conference tournament. And so I'll forever remember my junior year A10 title because I think that was like, again, probably the sweetest. And UMass was such a good team, like so good. One of their hitters became an All-American that year. Like their pitcher was really good. And like, we were really close to losing that like winners final game. Or like they almost forced an if game, and our left fielder made this fantastic catch. And so like they were very good. Just a really good team with great, like I said, great pitching, great hitters. But like to win the title like on our home fields against the team that like swept us in the regular season, it was really cool.
Yeah. You had a dynasty over there. Dynasty. Like,
Yeah.
sheesh. It's 3-peating. That's like the Lakers and Shaq and Kobe in early 2000s.
Well, that was actually the 6th year in a row that Fordham won the A10.
Even, hey, hey, like the Bill Russell Celtics, we'll call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Senior year, you're named the team captain, and this time playing with a mutual friend of ours and some young freshman by the name of Gigi Spear. I'm sure we both know who it is. Yeah. Oh
Oh,
man,
thank
shout out to
you.
Gigi. Did you embrace the role of being the captain, leading the team? And how was it like leading a young pup at the time named Gigi Spear? And how do you remember how you guys first met? That's funny. I was like, oh yeah, Gigi was a freshman when you were a senior. That had to be it.
Um, So I'll answer the captain question first. That was really cool because it's voted on by your teammates, and like I mentioned, I was a walk-on, and so like those that first year especially, I just like I kind of felt like I didn't matter, honestly. Like I was again, I was player 19 of 19. Like I wasn't that good. And I think like I still get a little bit emotional thinking about like how the transition and then like my senior year ended up being like my best year like statistically as well. Just like the fact that like despite in years past, like I was never an all conference player until my senior year. Like the fact that my teammates like saw enough of me that like they wanted me to be their captain was just like a huge honor. And I remember like when my coach told me like that was just really, really special. And so I'm forever grateful for that and for my teammates and like for the kind things that they said and like why they selected me. So yeah, I kind of sometimes I forget about that, but that was like awesome. And then in terms of Gigi, I was like, who is I just remember she wanted to like she did everything that I did. Like and I was like what is she like I'm so confused. Like she like joined the same clubs that I did. Like she did the same radio stuff that I did. And I was like who is this like human? And then I got to know her and it's just like she's just like the brightest bulb in any room. Like she lights everything up. She's so kind and caring and like one of the hardest workers that I know. Like I talked about how like I like to always be in the gym or the cage and like all of that and like I could always count on Gigi to be there with me. And so I just think that like when I first met her, I was like, who the heck is this? Like, what is this freshman doing? And then by the end, I'm just like, wow, like I just have so much respect for her and like her dedication and hard work. And she's so intelligent. She was in the honors college in school and like she probably didn't even tell you that. But just like yeah, so I remember when I first met her, but but I'm glad that we have the friendship that we do now.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, oh, Gigi, because it's funny how your guys' story is kind of similar. You guys were both walk-ons in college. And I
Yeah,
remember when I
yeah.
interviewed her
We used to
twice.
talk about it.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of similarities there. So that's why I'm kind of that's probably definitely a reason how you guys definitely related because similar journey. And yeah, and she
Yeah,
was elite in
totally.
high school too. She was all league and all that, like just like yourself. And she was
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
that's how I got my broadcasting career. That's how I want to start because I was basically watching from the bench. And she was like very humorous about it. She wasn't like bitter. She was like laughing about it, which was funny. And you're like the same
right,
way.
right, right.
You're the same way. You basically said the same thing. You're like, I was 19 of
Yeah,
19. So
yeah, I was. Like, there's so many stories, but yeah, 19 to 19 for sure.
definitely. Senior year, 29-26, your senior season. You guys went overall 16-6 in the conference play, but you have the best individual collegiate season of your career, hitting splits of .347, .415, and .418. 59 hits, 30 RBIs, 29 runs, 20 walks, and 6 stolen bases. He hit a .387 in conference play with 29 hits and 16 runs. Named Atlantic 10 second team all conference, all academic honoree, winner of the Kiwanis Community Service Award. I see you. Okay. Giving back. Did you feel being named team captain gave you that extra boost of confidence to have the career season you had your senior year?
I think the extra boost of confidence came from Melissa Inoue. So she came in my senior year, and I mean, I also like felt more confidence. Like at the end of my junior year, like I was really starting like to play well. Like I was starting consistently. We went to regionals. I think I hit like 750 in regionals, and so I feel like it took me like 2.5 years, but I was like finally figuring out how to play at the college level. And like I had really good talks with like Bridget Orchard in the off season, and then she ultimately ended up leaving to go to Villanova to coach at her alma mater. And so like I was really unsure about like who was coming in next. And then I met Melissa, and like Bridget's like you're gonna love her. Like Melissa actually had like an assistant coaching stint at Fordham previously in her career. So she had coached with Bridget, and then like I just think Melissa believed in me so much. And I think that she was just so kind and like she's part of the reason I was named a captain. And like she just I could cry like telling you stories about Melissa. You know, my grandfather passed away my senior year. She drove home to Pennsylvania with me to come to his funeral. And she has just done so much for me, and I think like she's a big reason that I felt so confident just to like finally play like I knew I was capable of playing. Um, and I also just think things click, right? Like I was finally a senior and I was like, I can do this. That end of my junior year really gave me the confidence as well.
That was a great answer. You four-peated as the A10 conference champions in your time there. Your time. I was probably like at that time. I was probably like 7 or 8 p. I lost track. You guys so much winning.
In a row.
Yeah.
I think it was 7 in a row. I think Fordham won 7 in a row. Yeah.
You guys are just unbelievable. Continuing the dynasty that started your freshman year, you singled, doubled, walked, drove in a run, and scored once against St. Joseph's before singling in a run in the championship game against George Washington, winning 5-2. How did it feel to go out on top in the conference once again, one last time?
We didn't mess up the streak, and that's all I I was like, I just don't want to be the class that messes up the streak, right? Like that was like you just didn't do that. Like when you committed to Fordham, you knew you weren't going to mess up the streak, so I'm glad that we didn't. But I'm also just glad my computer might die, so I might have to plug it in. But I'm also just glad that I even had the opportunity to do that and to be involved in those championships with all of those people and so many great teammates in my 4 years there.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm just like, you won a championship every year in college. That made up for high school. Hey, that made up for high school. You had a dominant individual.
We still won the district every year in high school, and we won the conference we didn't win the conference every year because Nanacoke was decent. But yeah, we won the district every year in high school, so
yeah,
that was good at least. But conferences in college are more fun to win, so
definitely. So put your time at Fordham into full perspective. How much did you learn from there and the growth you felt you had as a person along with the historic collegiate dominance?
Yeah, Fordham made me grow up. I just like my freshman fall was really, really hard. And it like honestly, freshman fall was hard. Like there were parts about my sophomore year that were really hard. Junior year was really hard. Senior year was when it felt like it clicked. But like I don't think that I'm the person I am today without like feeling some of that adversity or being able to like have compassion for other people. Coming into college, I never knew what it was like to sit the bench. And I think that really taught me how to treat people. Because I had some teammates who in college never had to sit the bench and they didn't know what it felt like, and how hard that is and how much you learn about yourself doing that, and just kind of like those voices in your head just telling you that you're not good enough, not just only on the softball field, but like in life in general. And I think having to do that really taught me how to treat people. And I think that like when I was playing all the time, I like made sure that I checked in with the people who weren't. And I think that's helped me a lot in life. And in my broadcast career as well. I mean, I think like sometimes like you're doing stories with people who are going through really hard times, and if you can have compassion for them and try to meet them where they are, that's really important. And yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so I don't know how much time you have left because I still have like 15. I don't want to cut it here because I just got to the end of your college career. That's what my goal. And then we can get to like the rest. Then we get into your media career.
That part one done.
Yeah, I was like, can we at least get to the end of her college career, please? And then we get good.
We did. Like, look at us. We're we
we're
got
on the dot
through
too,
it.
right? Now we're on the dot too. I was like, and then yeah, I was like, you did a great job. I know online it'd be lagging sometimes with the audio sync and stuff. So hopefully, I know that with Gigi it kind of did that, but I was like, what can you do? I mean, you try your best. The Wi-Fi is house.
It's tough. And the beauty of it though is like having the ability to talk to people like in this platform, like while everybody's on the road, and you don't have to like make sure that they come in and different things like that. So
in person, yeah, especially when you're far away because you're like 2.5 hours away. And I looked at the distance. I'm like, yeah, I can't ask her to come in person.
PA's a little bit farther than some of the other.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. The farthest I'm gonna ask somebody is if they like live an hour and a half away and they willing to come in. Yeah, so yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I know. So you have a game call like later on, like at 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I could let you go now if you want. Yeah, pick this up part 2 another time if you want. So
for sure. No, absolutely. Just let me know when. I think this was awesome. Brought back some good memories, so I appreciate that. Forgot about those high school days. So
Oh yeah, hey, that's what we do on D-Day Sports. So we give our flowers. You know, we gotta celebrate you
yes, and
legends,
you
man.
deserve your flowers too for all the work that you put in and the preparation. Like that's awesome. Like the preparation that you put into even like finding those nuggets, like going through max preps. Like I know when I'm trying to do high school games, like max preps is not exactly where you want it to be all the time.
Not the
So I
easiest.
appreciate you and like give yourself some flowers too for the work that you put into this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I try. All the people I've interviewed through the years, you've seen the Pantheon. I showed you. It's tiring. Researching, oh man. Oh, I've done it for all of my guests, all the guests. Audio only
Yeah,
or the
no, but
visual
that's
ones, all of them. Yeah.
yeah, it shows that you care about it. So, I think that's really important. So, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh yeah, it's been a great pleasure having Maria Trivelpiece, the legend, here on part one of the interview with the one and only Maria Trivelpiece of Fordham University, and she's a multimedia reporter for the Patriot League. It's been your host, DJ Hazelton, here at the DJ Sports Show. I had a great time here with Maria, and we'll see you on part two. Bye, Maria.
Bye. Thank you so much, DJ. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
To cut through us off, so I have your sports night, and it is a Tuesday night, so we have our student athlete of the week. News Channel's Bailey Ardondo introduces us to a standout from Shadow Hills High.
She was not a natural born runner. She was a volleyball player, came off the track with a few other friends, and she just really got inspired with different reasons, and just put in all the dedication, the hard work, and now we're here.
Let's go! Finish the job now! Finish the job!
Lopez was born to run competitively. It just took a nudge and a few friends to find out.
When they were telling me, you know, track is coming up, you should try it out, I was like, why would I want to be running that much? And turns out now I'm like the one obsessed with running.
Obsessed might be an understatement. She trains like it's her full-time job.
I love doing extra mileage in the morning. I can't go to school without doing 3 miles in the morning. It's just like a quick shake up.
Okay, so before you go to school, you run 3 miles. Is how many times a week?
Like every day in the week.
She wakes up earlier than most to go put in the miles before practice, before school, and then she has the practice with us. So you really have to be dedicated, and you have to be consistent, like I said, and she is, and it shows.
No contest at all.
She's a 5-time league champion, and following this weekend, the first female track athlete to win a CIF title in school history.
I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I still like don't realize it. Sometimes my parents have to like tell me like, come on, be proud of yourself. And I'm like, I'm not done yet. Like I still want to keep on pushing. I'm never really satisfied, which kind of sucks.
Literally, she's been running at this level for 2 years, where a lot of athletes have been doing it since freshman year or before. So she has so much potential.
Talk about potential. Lopez is running into the next level and is committed to USC.
You have to be a student, get good grades, but I also want to compete in the like biggest levels. So I hope I can make it to an NCAA championship in the future.
My guy, Golden Freeman.
Now, speaking of SUNYAC matchups,
Women's
lacrosse and
great